Okay, at 6:30, we're going to call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Kern Council of Governments Transportation Planning Policy Committee, and we'll start with Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ione.
Present.
Calderon. Williams.
Here.
Couch. Espinoza. Gunn.
Here.
Gorman.
Present.
He's here. Hawkins.
Here.
Morse. Knorr.
Here.
Parlier.
Here.
Para.
I'm here.
Reyna.
Here.
Bob Smith.
I'm here.
Phil Smith.
Here.
Solorio Ruiz. And Warney.
Here.
Thank you.
Very good. Public comments. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the committee on any matter not on this agenda but under the jurisdiction of the committee. Committee members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the committee at a later meeting. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record prior to making a presentation. Do we have any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move to public comments for consent agenda. Are there any public comments for the consent agenda? Does any member wish to remove an item from consent agenda?
To the chair, a big pardon, sir. Let me look at this agenda number. Let's see.
David's on the COG agenda.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Thank you. Got ahead of the game. Big pardon, sir.
Okay, so seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Ione.
Aye.
Calderon.
Yes.
Gunn.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Knorr.
Yes.
Parlier.
Yes.
Reyna.
Yes.
Oh, Para, I'm sorry.
Yes. I was like, she called me.
Sorry. Bob Smith.
Yes.
Phil Smith.
Yes.
Warney.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Federal Transportation Improvement Program Draft Amendment Number 7.
Good evening, Chair and members of the board. Amendment 7 to the 2025 FTIP includes revisions to the transit program. The amendment was circulated to the Transportation Technical Advisory Committee meeting on July 3rd. At this time, I ask the chair to open the public hearing, hear public comments, and close the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will open the public hearing. Are there any public comments? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Caltrans report. District 9. I'm going to trick him.
Good evening, everyone. We do have a few project updates. I'll go ahead and start with Keene Pavement. I know we spoke about this last time, but we've reached 60% design on that project. for 58 Edwards median safety devices. Construction began on April 28th and is ongoing. The tentative completion date is August 1st. We also have 58 slab replacements, which is anticipated to start July 24th. There are 20 working days on this project, and it's expected to be completed in early fall. We also have the Cargo Community Prosperity Protection Study. D9 staff is currently working with Kern COG on the cargo study, and Catherine Carr will be the lead for this. Oops, sorry. We do have a few new traffic impacts. There's the Ridgecrest sewer work, which is on State Route 178 east from Coso Avenue to Ridgecrest Boulevard. Utility crews are continuing to tie in sewer lines Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be intermittent lane closures and drivers may experience brief delays. There's also Drummond Avenue closure. So on State Route 178 East in Ridgecrest, the left turn lane on Drummond Avenue will be closed while the city paves the streets. Work is scheduled Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and detours will be available for that. There's also Inyo Kern shoulder work, which is on State Route 178 East from US 395 to 3rd Street. Crews are working on the westbound shoulder Tuesday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then lastly, there's the grants. We have the 5310 call for projects, which applications were released on June 30th. The timeline for these applications, July 30th, there'll be a virtual application webinar. Early mid-August, there will be a virtual application technical consultations that will take place. And then the application deadline will be September 3rd. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Comment. I have brought this up, and I spoke with you before the meeting, just so you're not blindsided. And then Tehachapi on Highway, State Route 58, two overpasses of concern are the Mill Street overpass and the Denison Road. They were constructed around the 68 timeframe, 1968. Help with that a little bit. And the guardrails are maybe knee-high, if that. And I had brought this up, it's been a while, and there was something in the queue for a decorative screen. I'm not sure what that entailed. But then today I got an email, our city manager wrote to Ryan for District 9 and stating our concern that any kind of improvement to the height of the rail or screening has been pushed out to 2030. So maybe to tie it in with another project, I'm not sure, way unacceptable. So Ryan did get back to our city manager, Greg Garrett. It said he'd be next week or so, get some feedback, see what we could do. Even if it's not a decorative item, it certainly should be a safety item for those two overpasses due to the pedestrian traffic on there. We have a hospital on the north side now, hotels, Starbucks, a lot more business going in on the north side of freeway at Tehachapi right there. It needs to be addressed very soon. That's just one of those things waiting to happen. And so if I could be kept in the loop on that as well as city staff, that'd be great.
Okay, wonderful. I will definitely pass this along.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. Any other comments for District 9? Seeing none, District 6.
All right.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Reporting for Caltrans District 6. I think for the first time in about 6 months, I can say there are no staffing announcements, which is showing us some signs of stability, so I can appreciate that. As far as grant opportunities, I'm sure you're aware USDOT Build Round 2 funding awards were announced. It was just announced day before yesterday, actually yesterday. On the 16th, only one project in California was selected, and it was up north in Placer County, unfortunately. I do believe Kern County or Kern COG had applied for a grant, so hate to be the bearer of bad news. So update on the 99 Comprehensive Multimodal Corridor Plan. This is something that's been in the works for just about a year and a half now. Last report to you folks was that it had been delayed due to some modeling errors that were discovered. This document was supposed to be released at the end of April. We are getting close to releasing the draft for stakeholder review. We're targeting the end of this month, early next month at the latest. So I do apologize for the delay, but it is coming. Some project updates. The Wasco 46 pedestrian beacon. The team resubmitted the permit package on June 30th. Permit reviewer anticipates on getting permit issued within the next 2 weeks, which is approximately now. I am working on following up with them to make sure that those permits are issued. The Wasco 43 pedestrian beacon, no change from last update, that the permit was issued in May. The 46, 43 intersection improvements, no change from last update. There was a presentation of the City of Wasco at the June 3rd meeting. Southbound 99 to westbound 58 connector ramp. This project was adopted for $39.9 million in TSEP funding at the June CTC meeting. The fiscal year 2025 build announcement obviously is the one that we referenced earlier. So unfortunately, it didn't qualify. PS&E on this one is progressing. The team is working towards the 65% plans and estimates, and which is scheduled for the fall of this year. Bakersfield Freeway Connector, which is the 5899 modify the interchange. That one is open to traffic. Completion, is tied to the Centennial project, so no change from last update. Old US 99 to White Lane State Route 99 rehab project, The project completed construction and received acceptance on June 23rd. That one is done. Delano 155 rehab project, we're targeting RTL ready to list by the end of August of this year with an anticipated start of construction in spring of next year. 43 and 7th Standard Road roundabout. Team is working toward the 95% submittal, which is scheduled for the 28th of this month. Still anticipating to RTL that project in December. Santa Fe roundabout, State Route 43 Santa Fe roundabout, no change since last update. Kern 58 Cap M project, no change since last update. We're expecting to complete PA&ED expecting PA&ED completion this winter, 25-26. Okay, got it. So they were using the fiscal year and just meant this winter. So. The California Aqueduct 166 Bridge Rehab Project, no change. This is one we're working with DWR on encroachment permit to actually get the work accomplished. Bakersfield 99 Rehab South Project. We are targeting 65% constructability review at the end of August. Maricopa Highway Cap M project, no change from last update. Project construction is complete. They're still working on some punch list items. Pumpkin Center 3R rehab, RTO was achieved June 30th. It's going to the August CTC. Morning Drive 3R rehab, project is in suspension. All contract work is complete except for PG&E. PG&E is expected to return to work between August 4th and August 11th for cabinet energization with the programming of the electrical items and the rapid flashing beacon to follow that. We're expecting completion by September 30th. Weed Patch Highway 3R rehab project opened bids on July 1st with an anticipated contract approval by the end of August. This project does have a 6-month delay start. The current target start date of construction is by the end of spring 2026. Arvin Cap M, Team is working towards delivering this project by the fall of this year. What that means is RTL in the fall and then advertise in the winter. And that is it for my updates, just a couple of projects. Have any questions from the board?
Thank you, Shana. You mentioned the 9-lane multimodal, and I've asked in the past about Rosedale Highway 58
Yes, sir.
eastbound, and I've gotten, that's Caltrans, no, that's the city, no,
I think that there's still some discussions on relinquishment, et cetera. We are working through that. I do know that we need to prepare, a corridor plan for the 58. I talked to Aaron, as a matter of fact, the first day after he retired, about the need for that. I got that text on Monday, do you have 5 minutes? And my initial response was, you're retired, no. But yeah, it's in the queue and we are looking into it.
Okay, great. And also, do you look at the California Avenue undercrossing? Because that's also a very difficult bicycle pedestrian.
Yeah, we could look at
Okay.
that.
Okay, great. Any other questions for Shane?
Chair, I have a question. Shane, regarding the Highway 46 Poplar Hot Beacon, did you mention that the permit should be issued now in your remarks?
Yes, sir. They said in the next 2 weeks, and that was the beginning of July. So we're mid-July now. My expectation is that it should be.
Right. Would you send me an email regarding that?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Supervisor Barlier.
Hi, Shane. So graffiti removal, primarily in Metro Bakersfield, 5899. It's a very hodgepodge appearance with 4 different shades of gray and 5 different shades of tan when they paint out graffiti. Is there any way to get Caltrans number 1 gray and Caltrans number 2 tan? They go on tan walls or gray walls?
You're looking for consistency.
Absolutely.
Okay. I will express that back to John Liu, the maintenance deputy. But yeah, I can definitely sympathize with that. We have the same issue in the Fresno area.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you. And Executive Director's Report.
Good evening, and thank you. This is my inaugural item, and I've got a few things to talk about when we hit the COG board about what I'm doing, but just to stick with the plan here on TPPC, a couple of items for you. Wanted to report, Shane talked about a little bit of it. I did attend the June 26 CTC meeting, and just to put a point of emphasis on the success of the TCEP grant, bringing $39.9 million to this region to complete the 8th movement.
Hallelujah.
It was a huge moment, and all the credit to the staff here and to Aaron and to the TRIP program and to no small amount to Bill Thomas too, and the effort he has put in to see that done. So with those funds, we're locked in, ideally, to complete that entire interchange. So it's a big moment and a big realization of a 20, 30-year vision to complete that. So it's kind of exciting for me to step in and kind of get to say hurrah, but I think that I deserve absolutely zero credit. These folks here, though, put in a lot of effort at the COG staff over the years to see that happen. So I just wanted to punctuate that. Unfortunately, I'll also punctuate it with the news that Shane shared that we did not receive the build grant that we had also simultaneously asked for. Thankfully, with the TCEP and the STIP funds that you all have dedicated that project, the project has enough money to get done. We were hoping to use the build funds to get some more done, but we're still going to be real happy with the product. So tracking that item. And the other thing is I had an opportunity to shake too many hands at that meeting and forget about half the names that I probably should have remembered, but it was a really important visit for myself, for Aaron to kind of take me around and introduce me to the folks that make that stuff happen. So on that same note, the next CTC meeting is agendized for San Diego on the 14th. I'm going to go. And we're not tracking anything significant that we need to watch out for like we did with TCEP, where we wanted to make sure and get that money across the finish line. But I think it's an important opportunity for me to re-solidify those relationships we're building. So I intend to go. I wanted to briefly talk about the TDA item that was on the agenda that you all just approved. Thank you for approving that slate of projects for TDA Article 3. So just a reminder for you all, that's a relatively small awarded projects. It's very flexible money for bike and pedestrian improvements. We were able to fund all of the projects that were submitted to us from your agencies for that project, but there was a little money left over. And so I think the important point to emphasize is, A, if your staff put in an application for TDA, you just agreed to give it to them. But also that because we had a little money left over, I'd like to emphasize that we'd like to see solid competition for those projects. So encourage your staff. This is easy money to spend. I know. I was on that side of the table for Tehachapi for a lot of years, so I know a lot about that program. So if any of your agencies have questions about how to do that, I'm happy to step in. I've got a lot of experience in getting those across the finish line. But we'd like to see good competition on those, so encourage your staff to look for TDA funds. They come up at least every 2 years, sometimes every year, depending on what we have available. So let's see. The only other thing, I think we've talked about a number of these. I'm getting tuned in now to regular status meetings on a number of these projects. So obviously, State Route 99 and 58, there's a lot of ongoing work to get those done. The 7 Standard, 43 Roundabout project, the truck climbing lane, segment 2 on 58, which I know quite well. I know I'm also tracking the State Route 119 and the work through Pumpkin Center, trying to get up to speed on what's being proposed there and where that's taking us. And then obviously one that Aaron was particularly interested in was the Cal City Boulevard State Route 58 project. So tracking that project, I know we're still waiting on county survey and the interaction with ABEC, so that one will be one I keep a close eye on. We are also waiting for some grant results. We're still waiting on information. We got another month or two before we're going to find out on some grants we've applied for to get that project across the finish line. But here also, I'm familiar in my previous life, having worked with ABEC before, and certainly on projects of this nature. So I'm hoping to continue the efforts to get that delivered. So that would conclude my report for the TPPC agenda.
Thank you. Any questions for the director?
I have one really quick.
Yes.
You said there was some TDA money left. Is that going to roll over to the next call for projects?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan. And actually, I did forget one, if you'll allow me.
Sure.
And also, today was the closing for CMAQ and RSTP for this cycle. So it was, all applications were due today at 5 o'clock, and I'm happy to report to you that we received all the, we got a complete slate of applications from all of your agencies. So you guys can congratulate your staff. No surprises, nobody that said they would apply that didn't apply or didn't get it done. We got them all. And so congratulations to you and your staff. Please pass that back to them. They've got a nice filled out checkbox. We got them all. So now we're going to start the hard work of processing them and figuring out which ones to recommend and which ones to try for next time. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions at this point? Seeing none, we will adjourn that meeting and move on to the COG board. Same roll call. Public comments, same rules. Any public comments for the COG? Seeing none, any public comments for the consent agenda? Or does anybody wish to pull an item off of the consent agenda?
I do
Now
indeed.
we're
Yes,
ready.
Now we're in the right one. This would be item D, the second application, applicant Lake Isabella Investment Group.
Item D?
The local clearinghouse,
Yes.
and then the second, the applicant Lake Isabella Investment Group LP. I would like to discuss this.
Okay. Okay, great.
Thank you.
So we will remove item D from the consent agenda. Any other items?
Motion to approve. As
Second.
amended.
Roll call vote?
Phil Smith,
Yes.
Bob Smith,
Yes.
Reyna,
Yes.
Parlier,
Yes.
Nor,
Yes.
Hawkins,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Calderon,
Yes.
and Ione.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, item D is a local clearinghouse. Does staff want to give a presentation on this? Or?
I think I'll take it.
Great.
So I'm just getting up to speed on this, so give me a little bit of time to be just right on it. We are the local clearinghouse designated, I believe, by the state of California. So I'm pretty familiar with the state clearinghouse, which is an agency whose primary job is to distribute, information. Primarily, CEQA documents is the number one sort of item that gets reviewed by them. We have a small role to play as the designated local clearinghouse. So our role is limited to what you see in front of you. which is we receive data from the state clearinghouse about items they wish to have posted locally for local consideration, and this meeting becomes the place where people can come to make a comment. But I'm not sure how effective it is. We can, it's kind of a discussion level in terms of whether people actually see these things and move through them. Specific to that project, Mayor, I was able to research that item. USDA I am familiar with. They do issue loans, housing-related loans, for tax subsidized or federally tax subsidized housing. So in this case, this particular project appears to be funds for the acquisition of and the rehabilitation of an existing senior apartment center in Lake Isabella. So I can only speak, the way I can speak to it is we had this happen in Tehachapi when I was the development director, where we had about 100-unit senior housing development, and every once in a while, I think what's happening, don't quote me on this, is one legal entity is selling to another legal entity ownership of the apartment complex, and at the same time obtaining a new loan from USDA and some grant forgiveness to rehabilitate those. And whether those entities are in cooperation with each other, I'm not quite sure. But what I read online for this particular item is that this is the USDA proposing to provide federal funds for the purchase of and rehabilitation of this senior apartment facility in Lake Isabella. So this is just here for the public to understand, and if they wish to provide we're not even a taker of comments. This is just to let them know this is occurring, and they can, I suppose, reach out to USDA if they have a comment. So I hope that helps.
It does indeed. And for everybody else, I just want to let you know that in looking at all of these as a part of the clearinghouse, this stood out. And the reason it stood out is, like the other projects, it's easy to see the federal funds, that's taxpayers' dollars, are going to benefit the taxpayers. I mean, directly, that's an easy path to take. But on this particular application where it was not, and it's not very descriptive, and then Becky was kind enough to send me their application, and on their application, they're given the opportunity to provide attachments to help explain what they're going to do. And they did not do that. They describe themselves as a for-profit entity. The overall value of this is some $16.1 million. They only have to come up with $329,000, and they say the program income will be $1.1 million. So it just struck me as a for-profit entity can invest $330,000. The taxpayers on the federal side will invest $3.1 million. The state will invest $5.96 million. The program income will be $1.1 million, and other, some $5.666 million. And like I say, they didn't describe, I made an assumption, but it was hard from the description whether or not they were buying an existing facility and they're gonna update it and upgrade it, because you do the math and you're looking at about $190,000 plus per unit. But anyway, as I didn't fully understand where $16 million were going, that is why I reached out and I asked about it, because I still don't know that I fully understand it, but I also don't understand why they didn't more fully explain it. So hence the reason to bring it up and discuss it. I appreciate everybody's patience regarding this.
Appreciate it. Any other comments?
Motion to approve that item. Need a motion? Because it was on consent and now it's not.
Correct.
Excuse me, Chair. I mean, even though we're discussing it, Mayor Nord brings a very good questions. Is why wasn't the information given when it was asked? So how are we approving it?
All we are approving
Or motion for it?
Right, all we're approving is that we are publicizing this information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. And that's the understanding I was looking for, because from the public's perspective, I believe that there's a great deal of information missing from this item. So we just kind of laid it out there, but thank you for the opportunity to discuss it.
Thank you.
So just to be clear, so would if somebody from the public would have had a problem, would have come up with the same, that questions that he did, would this have been the place where they would have come to express that? Or we're just saying, we're just giving information. That's all we're doing. We're not,
I think you're asking the same question I asked myself. So I'd ask that you guys give us a little time. Let me go back. Again, I'm new to this, so I know we have this obligation, but I'm not entirely sure. I know at the state level, their obligation is limited to posting it. They're not a recipient. So the state clearinghouse is not a recipient of comments. So if you post, for instance, a CEQA document for the 8th movement of the 9958 to the state clearinghouse, they don't have any obligation to collect comments for you and send them back. It is
so
pure.
people have to go directly to
They got to go to whoever the author of this
is.
is. And
Okay.
in this case, my guess
Okay.
is the comments would be directed to USDA, who is probably federally obligated to announce to the world the intent to provide this money to them. So the USDA should be the recipient of this. But I'd like to work with Becky. We're going to take a look at this and see what I thought when I saw this earlier today is I wonder if we should have like a web link on these to just where people can go if they've got questions. And I don't know if we can get that or if we're given that information, but fair question. But I'd give me a little time on this one. In the meantime, I don't know, you're not approving this project tonight. You're simply, I'm not even sure a motion is necessary. We've posted it and acknowledged it. I'm not.
Well, it's on the agenda.
Yeah, it's, staff feels we've fulfilled our obligation. We're done. So that's what I believe. I don't know if any further thoughts, but if you know, Brian?
I think it would be in line with past practice that we approve this in the same manner that the rest of the agenda is approved. I think this item is effectively a receive and file, just indicating that the COG board has received this information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Do we have a motion? Right. Did I hear?
Second? Do you need a second?
Yes.
We need a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Can we just do an all in favor? Do we have to do a roll call? Just do an all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Executive Director's report again.
Very good. Related to the COG items, I wanted to report to you all that I've received an amazing welcome from the agencies that I've talked to already and from the staff. And I appreciate that. And frankly, Aaron has been extraordinarily supportive and continues to be. He's sailing off into the sunset, but he still takes my phone calls. So it's really important to me. But I just wanted to tell you all how excited I am to advance this. I am focused right now from a COG perspective on internally understanding our operations and our finances. Obviously, that's a big part of it. And then also getting to know what each of you are interested in. So to that end, I sent each of the agencies here an email. I've got to circle back with the county, but with each of the cities, I've sent an email to you and your city managers and asking for an opportunity to come visit you all, and then potentially even come and give a 5 or 10 minute introductory presentation to your councils about who I am and what the COG does, and just as a chance to say hello and this is who I am and hear from you all. But I'm taking that opportunity because I'd like to maybe, and what I've suggested is maybe a little private time prior to that meeting to hear from staff about, what are some of the issues, like Phil brings up an excellent one of, this guardrail project you're tracking and how important it is to the community, and are there ways I can help liaise between you and Caltrans and the other entities that we represent here to get that stuff done. So if you haven't heard anything, if this is the first you've heard about this invitation, then please talk to your city manager or check your own email. I think I got the right email addresses for all of you, and I've heard back from several of you. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd like to do that. So we'll work on those over the next couple of months and see where it takes us. In your folder tonight, I think is the next item I have for you, a couple of items. We're providing to you a timeline of upcoming events. I'll let you guys take a look at that at your own time. I wanted to talk a little bit about the mini grant, community-based outreach mini grant program. So one of the very a significant component of our RTP development process is public participation. We have to do a lot of reporting on how we do and where we get that information. And so one of the ways we can reach out is this mini grant program. And when staff told me about this, I thought I'd like to emphasize this a little bit with you all. We can provide, we're taking applications for a community-based organization. Could be a senior center, could be a school program, whatever's happening in your town can apply to us for up to $2,500 to facilitate a meeting in which we'll talk about the RTP. And the expectation from the agency is they're going to bring some folks out so that we can get some feedback and we can track that feedback and use that in the development of the RTP. And so I know in my time in Tehachapi, I could think of a couple of agencies pretty quickly that might want the $2,500. It helps with the way they run their little nonprofit or something like that, and they might have enough pull to actually deliver some folks to a presentation. So there's a flyer there. We're releasing those, is that today?
Yes.
That's today, right? And we need them back in about a month. So if there's an agency you can think of that can help deliver some folks and some feedback to us on the RTP, give us a chance to talk to them and receive back, we'd encourage you to carry those to some of those groups. So, all right. We've provided for you a progress report for projects of regional significance. This is the July edition. Thank you to Raquel and her team. This is a very professionally produced document. This is kind of the first time I've spent time reviewing it in detail, so I recommend that you all do as well. This is good information about projects that are around your communities. And then the last item for you is a memorandum from a consultant that works for the San Joaquin Valley COGS, Trinity Consultants, who tracks air quality issues. I just wanted to alert you guys to the air quality conformity concern. I'm not going to dive too deep. If you guys have questions, Rob can do it for you. But air quality conformity is a major component of the RTP as well. And what we mean when we say air quality conformity is the need for our plan, the RTP, to be obtaining the goals, to have a map and a plan for obtaining air quality goals that have been established by law. So that's what it means to conform or conformity. But recent activities from the federal government have thrown conformity goals from California into disarray. And so a handful of projects, but a handful of significant projects, fall into a strange risk category where this discontinuity exists between what the feds are saying and what the state's saying. So everybody's kind of scrambling to figure that out, so we're providing this memo to you. If you're curious about this subject, you can read it. It's pretty technical, but letting you know that we're tracking this issue and that the handful of projects nothing to be concerned about now. We're not concerned eminently with anything falling off. All the RSTP and CMAQ, for example, those are exempt from conformity, and so those aren't a problem. But we'll keep you updated as this issue gets resolved. But it is not resolved, and I think all the COGs are universally kind of holding our breath, trying to figure out what's next. So wanted to keep you aware. So with that, the next item I've got for you is in a previous meeting, there was a request from the board to consider the issue of prayer or prior to a meeting. And so I've been working with Brian to provide, he's got a brief verbal report from you before he provides it to you. I think my thought was, and what I asked him to do was just to give you guys his thoughts verbally on an informational basis, have you guys discuss what you're thinking, and then provide direction back to staff about which direction, if any, you'd like us to go in. At that point, we can prepare a very formal report and something you can vote upon if that's the direction you'd like to go. So, did I do that okay? All right, then I'm going to hand it over to Brian.
Good evening, members of the COG board. Tonight I have a brief presentation about this issue. We've been asked about potentially having a prayer or an invocation to start Kern COG's meetings. I've researched this issue. There are some legal issues implicated. I think you might have heard of the First Amendment before. There's something called the First Amendment, and it prohibits the government from establishing a religion, but it also protects the free exercise of religion. So there's kind of a balance there. I don't want to get too deep into the legal issues and the legal questions tonight, but I do want to kind of advise you and remind you that civil rights litigation can be expensive and risky, and it's an area where it's usually good to follow the beaten path, let another public agency take the risks and costs of litigation. A lot of those cases, even if you win, can be very costly, and that's something to keep in mind as far as the COGS budget goes, or liability that you're constituent member agencies might have if there were some kind of litigation. It's something really to keep in mind in the background on this topic. Really, from my perspective, I wouldn't advise trying to break new ground in this territory, in this area, if you do go forward with some kind of invocation. Fortunately, if you want to go ahead in this area, there have been a lot of cases where some agencies choose to adopt some kind of invocation or some kind of prayer to start a meeting. And we have, some guidelines that help us see what we can and can't do there. And the biggest thing that you need to be aware of is that whatever you did choose to adopt, if you want to go forward with some kind of invocation, it very clearly has to be non-sectarian, meaning that it may not advance any particular religion or belief, and it may not disparage any particular religion or belief. And it has to be something that is very extremely broadly acceptable. We would have to also make sure that our policies are consistent with a policy of non-discrimination to show that to actively show that we wouldn't be discriminating one way or the other or advancing one belief or the other. I think it can be kind of a tricky ground because it can be very fact intensive depending on what any particular invocation says. But as a general rule, as long as it stays non-sectarian, it is generally acceptable. So those are really the general bounds that you have to consider if you do decide to move forward with some kind of invocation. Again, I didn't want to get too deep into the weeds tonight. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take your questions.
I'll just start by saying that I am a person of faith, but I do not believe this is the right venue, and that Matthew 6:6 says, pray in the closet. Don't show off like the Pharisees do. And so I tend to say, let's not get involved. And at the city of Bakersfield, we do have a prayer, and I'm sure the mayor's office spends a lot of time having, one week we'll have the rabbi, and we'll have the Sikh, and we'll have the Muslim, and we've had a Satan worshiper show up and say he wants to have equal time. So it's my general position that we not get involved. Any other comments?
Thank you, Chair, Mayor. There's no secret we all come from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different values. Bringing prayer before a meeting could bring a calmness, bring down the temperature, unity, maybe some guidance, maybe some wisdom. We do pledge allegiance to the flag, correct? Isn't it God before country? So, if you're afraid to take on I don't consider a challenge, or even stepping up to that plate, because challenges bring opportunity, and this is not a challenge. So that would be my recommendation.
Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll let staff interpret that.
Okay.
And
You guys
I see that we may be dark, or are we going to be dark in August?
I think we anticipate being dark in August. I'm not tracking anything that is urgent that
Okay,
that wouldn't be till September. So we will tell you if that changes, but
unless
I think you guys
otherwise
can, yeah.
advised,
yes.
we
So-
will not.
Hold on,
have-
Chair. Are we going to continue to discuss this on a future meeting, or is this going to be brought back for discussion? I know it's no approved, or.
I think what my
you
initial.
heard from two of us, so.
Correct. I think I'll bring you guys a couple of options. on an agendized item, and you guys can pick an A, B, C, D, you know, and we'll take it from there. So I think that's, yeah, it's a challenging issue, and I can understand the hesitancy. I chaired the TTAC for
not a
12
challenge.
years. I don't know how many times I've had that moment. So, all right, we'll bring you back something to make a formal decision on.
Thank you. With that, we are adjourned.